So this is our new experiment. Today we're featuring lightning talks, and they will be hosted by our community. So just to start with, I won't take a lot of time here, just introducing the 6 5 speakers that will be speaking today, and just will give control to Kima. So just give me a second. You are now in control. Welcome.
Hello, I'll just go back here. Hi everyone, my name is Kiva and I am co-founder and CEO of Legitimate. Today I'm going to be sharing with you our latest initiatives aimed at empowering the journalism community through ethical AI integration. So that's my details there. Please do reach out at the end if you have any questions. A bit about Legitimate. We're a technology company that builds tools for journalists. We have a comprehensive suite of features, most of which are free, including transcription, workflow manager, and lots more. And we've been working in the AI space for the past year and have built out a host of tools that will support journalists both pre and post articles. But our tools don't create content for you, but they'll make the process more efficient. So to give an overview of the initiatives, we have 3 categories that we're focusing on: university journalism skills, freelance journalists, and local newsrooms. And each grant is designed to support the ethical implementation of AI. So the first initiative is for university journalism skills. We've been working with J-Skills for 3 years now, and we realised that AI is a big topic for them this year. So we want to support both the professors and the students in experimenting with AI. And this grant will provide a day of in-person training for 1 skill and then online training for 15 other J-Skills. All students will receive access to Legitimate's premium ethical AI tools, and we'll provide ongoing online support and extra webinars throughout the year. The next one then is the freelance grant, and it'll give 200 freelance journalists year-long access to our suite of ethical AI tools. We'll provide comprehensive training on AI implementation and technical support for them. And our aim here is really to empower freelance journalists to seamlessly integrate AI into their work in an assistive way. The next grant then applies to local newsrooms. They're often really under-resourced and not in a position to spend either time or money looking into how best to use AI. So our initiative will focus on really comprehensive training for them on how AI is being used in journalism right now, on how it could be used in the future, how best to experiment with it to increase efficiencies and maximize productivity in a small local newsroom. And we'll also offer technical office hours for them and year-long access to all of the tools. We really want to help strengthen local newsrooms and democratize access to AI for everyone. So I just want to briefly touch on our ethical AI tool suite now. The tools are quite comprehensive, so I'd strongly advise you check them out in more detail on the website. But basically there's a discount there as well for all attendees if you want to use that and sign up, but there is a free 7-day trial too. We have pre-article tools that are designed to be used when you're coming up with a story or an idea. It can make unique article suggestions based on your previous work. And we've an article outline tool to ensure like a well-organized logical flow in your writing. Our AI can also pull a range of sources for researching your topic. And then once you've written your article, we have post-article support with AI, like optimizing for SEO, automatically generating your metadata. We have an editorial review tool, which will provide feedback. We've audio conversion, social post generator, and lots more there for you to check out. This quote is from our co-founder, and it just sums up what we want to do with these grants. It's really about fostering the ethical use of AI within journalism. And in conclusion, we believe in the power of technology to elevate journalism, and through these grants, we want to empower journalists worldwide with the knowledge and tools they need to use AI. So you can get more information here. And please do reach out, and thanks so much for your time.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we are going to Ryan. So these 5 minutes presentations have the intention to introduce projects in AI and journalism from all over the world. Go, Ryan. This is your time.
Thank you so much. I'm Ryan Restivo. I'm here to talk about my Reynolds Journalism Institute Fellowship Project, the SEO app, and how it can help you all in your workflows today. I had the opportunity to do this thanks to RJI, which is at the University of Missouri. And the reason I wanted to do this was I wanted to use what I've learned over the years to help more people. And that's really what connects this, right? Building free, accessible, practical innovation, and to see it helping people all over the country and the world is just really like super awesome, right? Like, and my goal of my RJI fellowship was to create a Slack bot that helps newsrooms with SEO best practices. That was like the sentence, right? But now that was my technical challenge, right? And now any newsroom with a Slack workspace can install this, right? Over 300 workspaces have installed it. It's taken over 6,100 stories since launching back in March. The SEO is available in the Slack app directory since July. If you add Outlook, Dropbox, Zoom, like if you search yes, you're halfway to getting to SEO. A lot of, I'm trying to change the slide. Hopefully that worked. Oh, messed it up there. A lot of my research and doing my project, right, was qualitative, right? And digging into the problem space. One of my friends likes to say, fall in love with your problem, not your solution. And what I learned in research interviews very early on was to focus on the headline. And that's where I found this quote. The headline is the most important thing that a journalist has power over to make sure that their work is read. And that always strikes me, reading that word power, right? And tools, I want to empower people to make better decisions. So how can I give people more so they could get their jobs done better, faster? And so the SEO can take links, it could take story text that is yet to be published, but what it looks like a little bit like this, right? So it breaks down how often you're using your prominent keywords using natural language processing to think about what to target or how we prove how strongly or loosely related your story is to your actual headline, right? Are we actually drawing people in to give people the information that we want to at the time they want to click? Best of all, this supports languages other than English. I got asked at ONA, could you support Romanian, right? And at that point, it made me think about how I could support other languages, right? I was supporting up to 8 language models. But right now I've worked in a multi-language model to try to figure out how to support other languages, even Swahili, Hindi, and some others. And I'm working very hard on testing that and getting feedback on it. So if it doesn't show up as English, or it does show up as English when it shouldn't, you could tell me. And these reports show even more, right? So there's I've evolved the tool over the last 9 months. I've added, based on the over 6,100 stories, what we've learned, how long a headline should be, right? If it's over 70 characters, let's warn them. If it's under, let's tell them what the average amount is in a headline. That way they know and be informed from the data. Exploring keywords, right? Dig into the keywords of your story. If you're in San Diego and you want to get what people are searching for amongst the keywords in your story, you can get it very quickly. And most of all is this GPT piece, right? So my project started last July. So 3/4 of the way through an 8-month project, trying to find a practical application for an accelerating technology was interesting, but it was easy in the end, right? To focus on what I had already known from research, right? Reducing the time it takes to come up with a relevant headline. And so lowering that barrier to entry where you can just hit a button and it produces ideas for you, right? I had someone in a newsroom in British Columbia tell me many months ago that technology and newsrooms equals fear for a lot of people. And in my experience with newsrooms, it can be difficult to introduce new technology to them. So my approach is to use these as a check on your intuition, and that these are ideas that you could then take and fit into your style for your newsroom. And when you hit that button, you're in a test, and I'm changing variations in the prompt backend to try to produce better results for you. I've run 5 different tests, starting the first I did in the generative AI in the newsroom challenge, and I'm building on them ever since. And one thing I've heard a lot about is similar to some feedback from other users is like, well, could we figure out other ways to get in the workflow before publishing? So I've worked on a few ideas using push notifications. In this case, I've built a fine-tuned model with example notifications just to understand how a message should be written. It spins up ideas. And similarly, social media ideas, where I've combed through over 100,000 posts and found the most successful according to various metrics and fine-tune a model there. I have newsrooms testing these out right now, and it's awesome to see people giving feedback and working through this problem. my goal is to share what works and to continue to present what works and what doesn't and what I've learned. But the real value comes from SEO's users. It's really special to me that I can have effect on people's work and be able to see people from Western Canada, Oklahoma, other languages. And I want to announce, right, that I'm going to be having a training webinar on January 31st, 2024. And it's absolutely free to sign up. Go to yeseo.app. There's a sign up page right there. And thank you so much.
That's amazing. You are all-time research. So I'm just gonna make a small change. So we go now with our fourth speaker instead, and just going, I'm so sorry. Now, Tor, it's your turn to shine. I cannot hear you. Let me check. No, we cannot. Now, no, there was a noise. I think now we can.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
All right, so sorry about that. Thank you, Anna, and thank you so much for a really great conference so far. I've been taking screenshots all the time. So I'm Tor Killand from OpenMind, where we develop AI software for newsrooms, much like Google Genesis. And can you show my slides there, Anna? Great.
Yeah, you can also move them, like go through them.
Let me see if I have any. I don't think I have any. Okay, perhaps if I click here. Yes, perfect. Thank you. So our startup has two goals. The secondary one is to enhance the efficiency and quality of journalistic work. But the primary goal is to offer a solution that at least contributes to tackle the threats that AI in the newsroom represents to journalism, and therefore we believe to society. And so it's, of course, essential for us to know what these threats are. And there are 5 of them that we focus on. And of those, I think only the first 4 is on your radar. We have the threat from the potential flooding of the market with low quality content. And then how increased personalization makes it more difficult for us to understand other people's viewpoints. And then we all know how AI can produce misinformation and how it's in the nature of neural networks to produce systemic biases. And all of these things are what we have at the front of our minds when we develop the OpenMind newsroom software. But there's one particularly challenging problem that you might not yet be aware of, or it might not yet be on your radar, and we call it the news carousel. It's like a fast information feedback loop where the same material is recycled from one news outlet to another. So news carousel is driven by 2 factors. First, if your story can be read by humans, then machines can read it too. So the competition in the scraping business is intense now, and it has plummeted all the prices. So do you know what it costs me to buy 1 million full text news stories from open sources with almost no delay? The answer is approximately $1,000. But who could read 1 million stories anyway, right? Well, now anyone can, because the second factor that drives the news carousel is the presence of these powerful large language models. So we believe that it's going to play out approximately like the following. Your team crafts a story, maybe a groundbreaking interview with, lots of unique insights, and then you publish it. And within moments before even the first humans get a chance to read through it, the AI of another news outlet has already read it. And next, it analyzes it and checks whether it can find something of value, something in there that is relevant for their audience? And if it does, that material will be reused to write and publish new content. And so within minutes of publishing your interview, a news story surfaces on the news site. And this story, takes only perhaps a small slice, perhaps, 10% from your work, but it mixes it with information from other sources. So its focus will be different, and it's targeting, perhaps a completely new audience, perhaps even another language. But if you wait an hour, then your interview contributes to, 20 more stories, perhaps, and then the cycle will repeat. So, I mean, it's always been the nature of news that we copy from each other, but now it will just be 10 times faster and more powerful. And it isn't plagiarism, by today's regulations or editorial principles, because the AIs, they don't just copy, they analyze and they reinterpret and they create something new from the original work. So now the big question comes, how will your newspaper justify 3 days of research that your team put into that story, which was exclusive for, perhaps 1 hour only? It would probably be more economical for your outlet to just analyze what others have written instead, right? So is there any incentive left to pay for original work? That's the question, The carousel, it feeds on, let's see here, original content, mainly created by people, humans, but it won't pay for it. So we have a serious disruption to our whole business model. And what's the solution to this challenge? Well, I don't think it's obvious. It may involve updating editorial principles or perhaps, creating new licensing models. At least it requires that we all collaborate to solve it. All right, so to learn a little bit more about this, if you want to, visit open-mind.ai. I'll put that in the chat also. We started a series about AI journalism where the first post is about this news carousel. The next post will be about how to label your AI-assisted content. So thanks for your attention, everyone, and back to you, Anna.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna just stop sharing a little bit because we have our team back. Sometimes that kind of things happens. And so next we have our team from ChatBE. There we go.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
You have the control.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. And you can just go through yours next.
Thank you. So good afternoon once again, everyone. It's a very hot Wednesday afternoon in Nigeria. So my name is Israel Latunji Tijani. I'm a data scientist and also a journalist. So I'll be talking about ChatV. So should I share the screen from my end?
No, you can just go like with the right key.
Okay. All right. So next slide, please. So basically what ChatV means is a chat voter educator. So the problem statement here is that we understand the internet space in sub-Saharan Africa and Africa at large, and we understand how misinformation and disinformation actually polarizes the society. We have seen that how it has derailed democratic processes in some of West African countries like Mali, Niger, and the likes of that. So, but with the advancement in technology, especially artificial intelligence, how can we build solutions to address this in coastal West Africa? Next slide, please. So the answer to that question is ChatV, which is a fact-checking chatbot. ChatV fact checks by tagging it wherever you see it, meaning that you see it, you tag ChatV, we fact check, we reply to it back in that same comment section and creating a thread of fact check information. So next slide, please. So behind the solution, behind this innovation, are these four things. One is detection, which we use a neural network as part of how we detect by tagging on X, another platform, and also Lexicon for monitoring and analysis. So with this, we can actually counter online misinformation. And also ChatV has been trained to understand the nuances in languages. I was there during the morning session where the report about the use of AI in journalism was shared. So we understand that we have some little challenges, especially for AI, understanding the nuances in languages. But we are training ChatV to understand this and to better understand how computational linguistics works when it comes to African languages, which are low-level pre-trained languages. And we have Digi reporting, which is used for submitting digital evidence of violence during election or thereabout witness. And also with the Digi reporting, it will run through our fact-checking chat model, which will extract metadata to actually validate the kind of digital evidence you are feeding the bots, and before we share with respective stakeholders. And also ChatV can be used as a actors watch list, meaning that we can use ChatV to actually monitor social media influencers. We've seen a situation whereby some of these influencers use their platform for the spread of fake news, and even a lot of them use parody accounts. So with ChatV, we can actually uncover some of this propaganda being spread by politically exposed persons who are influencers on the internet, especially X, Facebook, and Instagram. Next slide, please. So behind ChatV are these three core technologies. We've been able to use generative AI using models like binary classification and time frequency, inverse document frequency algorithm. And also we've worked with machine learning, LLM. We train ChatV using LangChain, which is an open source frame for training LLM. We also use natural language processing, which is how ChatV is able to understand and handle toxic comments online in English and French, which we've rolled out in West Africa. And also digital fingerprint. So we are trying this. This is going to be an additional feature in such a way that any information that has been fact-checked to be false, we attach a fingerprint to it to prevent it being redistributed on the internet. So this technology has already exists in a particular tool in the US called Take It Down. So the tool attach a digital hash value rather to sexually explicit content of things, and with that they won't be able to redistribute it on the internet. So in such a way we can actually bring that as well to false information. The moment a particular information has been debunked to be false and this fingerprint has been attached to it, while any other person is sharing it, within seconds platforms can actually remove it or blur it out to prevent it being redistributed on the internet. Next slide, please. So this is what ChatV currently looks like on X. This is what our UI looks like. When you see an information, you tag ChatV, will reply back to you in the same thread without going anywhere. Then other people can actually see that this information has been fact-checked. Next slide, please. So how does ChatV works? So ChatV works in three different phases. One is claim detection. The moment you tag us, we check whether the claim is worthy of being verified or not. The next thing is ChatV using LLM will be searching into our trained models, looking for metadata, searching in databases and all of that to retrieve evidence to support or refute a particular claim. And the third stage, which can be decomposed into two stages, where the claim is now actually validated. At this point, ChatV assigned a veracity to the claim, either by assigning either true value or false value to such claim. What do I mean by this? When a false value is attached to information being shared, then ChatV attach a digital fingerprint to it and also gives you a justification of how it arrived at that particular verdict by providing you with search resources used. Next slide, please.
And thank you. We are running out of time, so please just finish.
All right. Yeah, thank you. So in the morning, Charlie talked about the limitations of artificial intelligence. He talks about the risk that people are afraid to use AI. So we've used confusion matrix to actually evaluate how ChatV is performing. And with this, we are able to identify our true positive and true negative. Where we have false positive and false negative values, this now requires the intervention of a human fact checkers. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. And now I'm gonna go through the presentations. I'm sorry that I have to change again. And we are introducing now Roberto. Sorry, my my Spanish will go Roberto Rocha. And here I am. I'm sorry, just technicalities going through. Roberto, now you have control over slides. And ready to go when you are.
Here we go. Good morning and good afternoon and good evening, everyone. My name is Roberto, and I'm going to be talking about standardizing entities using LLMs, an experiment we did with my partner, Will, who cannot join us today because he is in the Pacific coast of Canada and it is 6 a.m. for him. So a little bit about me and my organization. We're the Investigative Journalism Foundation. We're a nonprofit startup in Canada. We're not even a year old yet, and we do data-driven reports on the public interest. This is an old picture of us. There's only 3 of us still left from that picture, but we're a very growing and very spunky team. And we do a lot of data-driven investigations with some databases that we scrape daily, including on political donations, charity finances, and lobbying. And that means we work with a lot of company data. And if you work with company data, you know that it can get messy. These are all the ways that the same phone company in Canada is written in our lobbying database. And this is just a small sample. All these different limited corporation, subsidiaries. So resolving entities is a very hard problem because you want a company name to be the same standard version so you can do accurate analysis. So you can count how many times they appear in different records. And this can get really complicated because not only with all these legal suffixes, but you might have local national branches of multinationals like Google Canada, Facebook's Canada, Pfizer Canada, and so on. And companies change names. Companies might merge, they might get acquired. We might see a subsidiary of a bigger company. And we want to know which company is really the one that we're talking about. Google became Alphabet, Facebook became Meta, Alberta Energy Company became Encana. So entity resolution gets really tricky in these cases as well. Now, the usual solutions, some of them are pretty good, but most of them are imperfect. The roughest one is just good old text replacement, removing Inc. Limited Corp. From the text. It cleans it up a little bit, but it does not, it can't handle different names of the same company. Things like fuzzy matching and Levenstein distance are a little bit more powerful, but good luck with very different variations of a company that changed names or got acquired. It will not work. And then tools like OpenRefine are amazing, and they can connect to services that reconcile entities to a common name, but this relies on things like Wikidata that is completely done by volunteers. And it's also inefficient for, inappropriate for a lot of these edge cases. And this is where we think that large language models can really shine. So I'm going to talk about an experiment we did where we put ChatGPT or GPT-4 up against Claude by Anthropic AI to see who standardizes these entities best. So we took 600 random company names from our lobbying databases, and we fed it to both models using the same prompt, asking it to standardize these company names to its parent company and to clean it up. And then we had 2 people, me and Will, who shuffled the results, hit the model so we wouldn't be affected by any biases. And then we rated that result from 1 to 3, 1 being garbage and 3 being perfect. And we just did this in a Google Sheet, very simple with things hidden, nothing fancy there. This is the prompt that we use. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to make you read it, but I'm going to leave it there if you want to look at it later. And these were the results. By and large, the model did very well. GPT-4 had a slight edge. 91% of names were standardized perfectly to the score of 3. Only 1% were unusable. This really surprised us. It even resolved companies to their parent companies, like Hydrogenis Corporation became Cummins, that is its latest name. Many other cases like this is what impresses the most, and knows what parent companies are. But it wasn't perfect. There was a lot of weird changes. The Saskatchewan Post Growers was changed to Sask Post. That's their Twitter handle. It's not even an official company name. Some Canadian First Nations groups were changed to completely different First Nations groups, completely unusable. So it's not perfect and it's tweaking. Also, small regional companies completely useless. So suggestions for improvement before my time runs out: use a web-enabled LLM, maybe tweak the prompt a little bit with more examples, maybe do a second pass to standardize the results a little bit further. And that's what I got for you.
Amazing. Thank you, Roberto. And now we are going to our last, and we are a little bit over time, but so I'm here. Are you around?
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Amazing. There you go. You have the control. And go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Johan. I'm the founder of SafeLink Network. And today I'll share you our product called Information Tracer and our work in detecting coordinated campaigns on social media. Okay, this is the main slide. And here we go. The mission of our organization is to assist journalists, fact-checkers, analysts, humanitarian workers to monitor, track, and understand different narratives and campaigns across social media. And why am I doing this? So I'm actually a computer scientist by training. I did my PhD at New York University in computer science, but during my PhD, I ended up studying the spread of misinformation. So that's when I started to build this tool called Information Tracer. So it's originally an kind of academic tool, and then later I started to offer it to journalists to help them track different campaigns. So Information Tracer really put a lot of focus on the network behavior. So how different accounts kind of together share different narratives, and we build lots of visualizations to help people see basically where the information originates and how it spreads from one account to another, or from one platform to other platforms. And next slide. And to give you a quick example of how Information Tracer fits into a journalist workflow. So we have a web application, and the user, you can search. It starts with a search. You can enter any URL, hashtag, or keyword, and then we will collect data from multiple social media platforms, some from API, others we build our own collection mechanisms. We have to be very adaptable because those platforms change all the time. And then we aggregate cross-platform data and generate different indicators of suspicious behavior, and also visualize how those narratives are shared across social media platforms. We have lots of collaborators. We work with journalists, fact checkers. They use our tool to basically identify bots, and we work with humanitarian workers and also research universities in many different countries. So it's a global technology with lots of local impact. And here, this map just shows you some of the campaigns, coordinated online campaigns we were tracking and we have been tracking. And many of those campaigns are actually in the global south. For example, in Mexico, Brazil, also in Africa, like Nigeria, Ethiopia. And to give you a quick example, so we work with Technology de Monterrey in Mexico this year to monitor local election. So there is an election in the state of Coahuila, in Mexico, and they have 4 different candidates. So using our information tracer technology, we collect social media posts that discuss those 4 candidates, and then we measure their sentiments and visualized who which candidate was trending on different social media to help people understand who is behind their campaigns. And to better help the local audience, I actually traveled to Mexico and I gave some talks and offer workshops to their students to help them using our tool to better analyze different narratives. And lastly, we are currently in another program organized by International Center for Journalists, LEAP program. So we're one of the 8 startups chosen from many applicants, and we are further develop this technology to counter different misinformation. And I work with another company called Roli, which is another platform for journalists, and you can also check that out. So yeah, that's about our technology. If you're interested, please reach out to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing. Well, thank you everyone who took part of this very small experiment that was the Lightning Talks, the first. Tomorrow we have another session of Lightning Talks, another 6 amazing projects that are working with AI and journalism. And as we are done, I just see the spotlight to Shepo and the panel on small newsrooms and how can they leverage AI.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anna. That was pretty amazing. And like Anna said, tomorrow we will continue with another batch of 6 amazing projects. All these projects are from people who are part of Connect. And so if you would like to showcase your work, do drop us a text on Connect and we will try to do so.